So I believe all we had left was the sound side of things. So if I grab a puppet, so we've got the health manager, controller sensor, puppet interface, and the run animation keyframe, and the auto guide. So now we're going to look at what this is all about. Cool. So this is basically going to be a tutorial about how sounds work, because that's basically all it's doing. Although I think first I'll just show you how to hook these up to this over here, because that's probably going to be more likely to be the thing you want to do. So let's actually see if there's some in the Dreamiverse we can use. Oh yeah, if I go, no. Yeah, sound effect character. Okay, let's just use this for example. So you get a sound gadget thing, and you put it down there, and this will play. We want this to play when which one is it? I think we just get left heel strike and right heel strike. So it's got foot impact. So somewhere in here, foot impact. So that, I guess that applies to either. So we just want to power. We want to play this sound once every time we have a foot impact. So let's turn this puppet off, and we'll move out of the way. There you go. So let's just see how that works. Oh, I want to turn the other one off. Got a lot of vestigial puppets going on in this scene. Right. Let's just remove that crazy. Oh. Interesting. Remove that animation. Okay. So you can hear that sound play every time he takes a step, but not when he jumps or lands. So let's just grab that for now and tweak it so that we can hear the difference. So let's say that wouldn't really help. Get some distortion. Okay, so it's really loud and clear, and we'll use that for the jumped sound. So when the puppet that this interface is in jumps, then it will trigger this sound over here. So we walk around, get the normal sound. When we jump, get that crazy loud sound. And we'll have a last one for when you land. Make it louder. That's pretty creepy actually. And then we'll use the landing impact to power it. So now we have normal walking around, crazy jump, and weird landing. Nice. So that's the basics of how to wire up something like that. But the cool thing is, when you get to this, first we'll show that. So that's how you wire these sound effects up. But if we look in here, there's more than one sound going on. So actually, if we just delete those and just have the foot impact one, and keep that open while we run around. That down there, and then go modes, test mode, and now we can see all the gadgets and stuff, but play as if we were playing the game. So if you look at the those different slices in that window, a different one is playing every time. So to demonstrate that clearer, let's just use a switch to turn it on. Put that in there. Play time. Like that. So now we turn it on and it plays once and it played that one. And then we look again and it plays a different one. So it plays a different one of these every single time you turn it on with the switch, or whenever it's powered. So yeah, so that's really useful for stuff like this where you don't want every footstep to sound exactly the same. Oh, we didn't put that on. But you want it to kind of sound different every time. So like, if we just simulate that with a timer and make it quite short and trigger that. So it sounds slightly different every time. Some extra things you can do is to give these random ranges. So instead of it being always at that register, so this makes it deeper or brighter. I don't know where that's coming from. Oh, it's got that on. I'll turn that off for now. Yeah, so this makes it like a higher note, and that makes it like a lower note, and it's effectively playing the these clips like faster or slower. So this playing it slower, and put it up here, you can see the little dots like flying across really fast. So what we could do is give it some randomness. So instead of just one of these speeds, it chooses a slightly different speed every time. To do that, you can normally drag these sliders with X. If you hold L1, then it splits into two. And now, playtime, you can see it's choosing a different value in this range every time it's powered on to play a new sound. And you can do this with all sorts of things. That's a good example. So playtime. So we've got different distortions. but you can hold L1 and drag it out, and now it's picking a different point, different kind of distortion every time. But I think for now this is probably the best. Oh yeah, and probably useful is to randomize that. So now steps are sometimes louder, sometimes quieter. Cool. So next, let's look at how best to do this. I'll do it by way of example first. Let's try that. And we'll get that. Yeah, so this is a sound gadget. This is an instrument because it's an instrument mode, but you can just set it to sound effect mode if you wanted to. And it has, when it's in instrument mode, it has freeform view, which is performance mode. It has piano roll view, where you can add specific notes and move them around and stuff. And then it has slice mapper view. So this looks just like our footstep sounds down here. And if we do the same down here, play time. The reason it's not playing is because when it's in instrument mode and you power it, then it tries to play the notes that has been recorded in piano roll or the performance mode. But we want it to just play stuff. So we'll put it to sound effect mode, and now we'll play time. And it's kind of got this long lead in, so do that. Yeah. So it's working just the same, using these different slices over here. But you can actually put slices in different places. So I don't really want all the settings, all the kind of cool choir stuff going on. I just want one of these that sounds like that. Or if I, yeah, that didn't demonstrate at all, did it? Okay, so you can move these around here and put them on the same rows. I'll explain what the rows do in a minute. And reorder them and move them around and stuff. You can also move them outside and drop them, and they become their own sound gadget. So now this doesn't have any settings at all, and it's really wonky for some reason. There you go. And it just has the slice that we took. Oh, it does have settings. That's interesting. So what I'll do to make sure that's reset, I will use my empty instrument, which is actually just an empty sound gadget, but that's interesting. And all the settings are reset. There's no samples or anything. No samples, no special settings in here. So yeah, now if we just drag this out of here, we can just drag it into a different instrument entirely. And if we play this now, I have to set it to sound effect mode. So it's playing that one thing. Let's just make sure those are off. I think it's just really quiet, that one. If I do, that's better. So this is the start time offset, by the way. This is how far through any slice that's played, like skip the first that much of stuff, you know. So it's starting at that point, and if you go once, it's going to play that whole thing every time. So probably in this case we just want a shorter piece, so it doesn't get really annoying. Only slightly annoying, see? Awesome. Yeah, so we have slices over here, and if you press L1 and square, you can change where these slices are beginning and end. So let's change this one. Oh, this is a copy, by the way. I just used L1 and R2 to copy as normal, and then L1 and square to edit it. So if I grab that, okay. So now it will play a different one of these every time, and you can make more and more of those. If I grab let's grab that one. No? Oh yeah, if this is in edit mode, then it won't let you do anything with the slices. So use L1 and circle to get out of this slice editor. I don't know what the whole thing sounds like. Fun stuff.